Cecilio, oh, good one, good one.
So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it has an additional layer of ability that they could potentially consider. Let's see what they decide to pick up.
Oh,
Okay.
it's just the few way to go.
They're just gonna keep it safe.
Yeah. Now that we're thinking it, that's gonna be Falcons lineup. Andorio on the Fanny feels like it's deadly, and in this lineup, maybe the Pharaohs might have a harder time. You're right.
And it also kind of lessens the potential macro plays that can come from Marco.
Super macro.
Super macro. I mean, with the
Why
most
not?
of, right?
Why not?
If this goes to split push, I don't know. I mean,
We saw
let's
it
see.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Here we go, guys. Who do you think's coming out on top here? It would be very exciting to see the, the classic Fanny plays, classic Fanny early game kills without level 4s. But you don't know. Kalti's also pretty good on that Suyo here.
Yeah.
Jome picking up the tenacity here. Whereas Super Marco has the Master Assassin. Just look at these two gold laners already dueling it out early into this match. They each have their own ways and reasons to be confident enough.
Jome dashes in front of Marco because he knows Andorio was there, but a good taunt from Ogwin.
Wow.
Catches Andorio mid-air.
The micro taunt. I like it.
Amazing. I mean,
that could have been bad.
he just looked like he was walking, but then he had the unbreakable channeling all along.
That was smooth.
I actually thought he canceled the cable or something. I didn't. Could you do that? Like, oh no, you got taunted. All right. So just a little bit more here, focus for Falcons, getting ready for the next turtle already. That's 4 people down on this side. It's gonna be very dangerous for Omega to contest this.
Yeah. Again, it's all about controlling the center of the map, and Team Falcons.
No purple, by the way.
For Adoryu. Yeah, no purple. And now Kyle Teasy immediately secures the turtle as Flap Teasy just trying to evade Lewis.
Yep, they didn't need to do much. Team Falcons, at this point, they need to worry less about the potential pickoffs that'll happen from Smart Omega as long as they are grouped up together, which was the case earlier when Ogwen was able to accompany Super Marco, and they're back at it with the double lanes. It's been a very quiet first 2 minutes of the game, but you just know how this is typical Falcons playstyle, just waiting for the perfect time.
Oh! Jome only has a Purify though, but he was still able to dodge out Evil Queller and forcing out Jome to just recall.
Yep.
All right. So a lot of pressure on the map being put in by Falcons, who don't really have a big lead, but they do have the freedom to just go around here. Okir.
Okay. Commits the Feathered Airstrike already up against Few. Super Yoshi caught in the mix. They're trying to look for a proper initiation, but just Team Falcons always 2 steps ahead. They know when Omega wants to try and do something, as Andorio working on Flap Teasy with the cables, even used the Retribution, but Flap Teasy catch him with a fist crack. Here comes the Nightmare Andorio, delivering the final blow onto Flap.
All right, great response from Smart Omega. Flap TZ didn't really decide to rotate out of the lane, even though Luis was already in the mid lane too. Falcons clearly didn't want to fight just yet, but Omega with or through Andorio just forced it onto a target who was away from the other members and whom he could just clearly take on by himself. He already forced out multiple skills, and now that is going to be somewhat of an advantage, you would say, for this upcoming fight. Not unless Falcons decides to prolong it a bit more up until the point where Flap TZ, and there you go, he's already ready to fight again.
Okay, commits time offended already. Few with the Purify. Manages to pull Lewis also. That's initiation already used up by Omega. Luckily, Super Yoshi's I'm offended cooldown is just low. And now Falcon still has their ultimate coming in from Few. They can full commit and try to get this turtle once again.
Yeah.
Have to be careful. Maybe another Shadow Stampede coming in from Few could be dangerous here for Jome or Okir. So keeping their eyes on the map is going to be crucial. Marco is also very far away. Super Yoshi goes in though.
Here comes the flicker onto Flap, forcing out Flap to back off. and the Netherrealm as well. Lewis working on 4. Here comes a fist crack coming in from Flcn as Andoryu secures the turtle. AOG, they still continue the fight because they were able to bring down Lewis. Here comes Andoryu again with the steel cables. They managed to get Owen. Super Yoshi going down in the hands of Flcn. Now they're trying to go for Ook here. No wings by wings yet. And Team Falcon goes for a 3-man trade.
All right. They decided to pursue the fight. They didn't want to back out just yet since Super Marco did use the SOD and caught up. There were moments wherein Falcons would have probably had a huge disadvantage, but that clutch unbreakable taunt coming in from Ogwen meant a lot for them since they were able to stun 2 members from Smart Omega in a single line, which allowed Super Marco and his passive to be a lot more amplified. So they were able to dish out the necessary damage, and what better start for Super Marco on the Moskov with 2 assists and already a 1 kill in his hands.
Super Marco, at this point, feels like he can just destroy any tower that's in front of him. So they're trying to get him in the position where I'm going to be fine. Just leave me alone. I'm going to get some gold with me. The usual Moskov playstyle, though, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's actually confident because there was an attempt from Andoryu a while ago, even using the retribution. But just 1 dash out from Super Marco was more than enough to evade a potential cutthroat coming in from Andoryu, as Andoryu clearing out the bottom lane. Now we're just literally waiting for Omega to try and be proactive once again, just like what they did during game number 1. They have Super Yoshi's Flicker available now. It's just mere seconds away from another Flicker I'm Offended play.
Yep.
Feel like it.
They're just being very patient now since the advantage is clearly in Falcon's hands. And Andoryu, though, he's still trying to go for it. Okay.
Nice try here for Andoryu. He has to keep the pressure on, right? He doesn't really have a choice. If you are a Fanny, you chose this life, right? You have to keep going.
And you just mentioned it. Being proactive all across the map. It's only that there's minimal information for Smart Omega, honestly. If you were to look at their lineup, there are minimal ways for them to actually successfully scout the areas. If they don't get to position themselves first in the brushes, Falcons will just be able to work their way towards starting the fights first.
Are they going to go for this? It's like they want to.
They're trying to...
Oh! No.
No, I'm offended. The Wolfgang is still there, though. Here comes Few. Kyle TZ working on the turtle. Onto the top lane. There's Andoryu trying to defend the top lane up against Super Marco. And that play from Falcon, they just literally got the turtle for free.
That was painful to watch, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, here with the feathered airstrike onto Few. Still, however, didn't force out the Netherrealm. AOG connecting as well, plus the Spiss break. Coming in from Flcn, here comes Lewis as well with Andoryu, but there again is the Netherrealm as Super Marco picks up another. But Joemancer's back with a kill onto Ogwen.
Too much pressure dealt by Super Marco across the map. It calls for a response from Smart Omega. Oh, wait!
Oh, Marco.
Jump in.
What the heck? Super Marco with a vintage play onto Ook here.
That was an SOD Vengeance jump, right?
No, SOD plus Flicker.
Flicker. He used a Flicker. Oh, yeah, he used
the Flicker.
Oh, man. Super Marco. What are you doing? He's so aggressive today.
We were just talking about him putting pressure across the other areas of the map, but when he decides to engage in the fight, he can just deal the equally the same amount of pressure that was close for Andoryu here. So Smart Omega at this point, they're just really settling with all these waves that are being managed by Andoryu. There's a lot of catching up that has to be done. And look at now.
Falcons look like they're fanny hunting at this point. Yeah.
They can just freely accompany Super Marco from this point onwards, and they'll have no problems of controlling the map in no time.
Yeah, they got good damage just from the Moskov itself. And then maybe it'll give Okir a bit of a harder time to get in a good position. Find that good position.
He already has the Trinity build too. So this is like a signal for them that they can engage in the fights.
Here comes Few once again to the rescue. Just cast the Netherrealm. Already used up the I'm Offended. And Dory tries to go in as Ogwen cast the AOG. Might fall down. Spear of Destruction will connect. Here comes Marco once again. Bringing down 2. Omega kill for Super Marco. They're trying to go for Super Yoshi. And that's just Marco way of saying, that's for hugging me, Joe.
That's That's true.
Oh, there's a pull!
Oh! Okay.
Oh,
All right, they're good, they're good, they're good.
Queller! Oh, okay.
I kind of almost forgot about that hug.
It's done, okay, it's
done,
done.
it's done.
My goodness, Flapteasy, the way he was able to stun 3 members with a fist break, fist crack, and Super Marco making it just in time to join the fight for a moment, even just briefly to dish out the damage. And after that, imagine he just decided to walk away, go towards the Lord, and not mind the rest of his teammates because they were already capable enough to actually deal with the other members of Smart Omega all by themselves. So this was a perfect sequence for the Green Falcons. And there's another fight down bottom.
Another perfect sequence. Flapteasy on the right target.
Jome is out.
Jome is out.
Jome is out. That's 23 seconds. I don't know what Falcons are doing. They're really choking out Omega's exits, Omega's game plan is to survive here.
Okay, mid lane Holy Shields will be popped. And now we're just waiting for another Yoshi play, but few once again with the Nether Realm. Marco just trying to dish out the damage onto the turret, and they will do so successfully. No minions though. And now that was an attempt. We're really asking Super Yoshi to do. Unfortunately, Few was just miles ahead with the Nether Realm.
Yeah, he had the Purify too, so he could just immediately cast it, and also the Nether Realm to ensure that none of his teammates will die despite that beautiful setup that was shown to us by Super Yoshi. Yeah. So that's one more thing you have to think about. As long as Few has the Purify, Falcons are almost always confident enough to go in because they know that their captain will take care of them despite what happens.
Yep. No matter how badly the situation is, just click Purify, click the Nether Realm. You did your job already. And after that, maybe if you can just kind of just command them to go around the map, what is the most vulnerable spot to attack here? And now Omega are suffering here. They're just trapped inside their base.
Yeah, if it isn't that big of a threat, they also have the Revitalize anyway from Ogwen to somehow keep them alive. And I think there was already some Purify pickups, Flap already too, so they'll be able to somehow sustain this a bit more, provide a little bit more shields, and overall this 11k gold lead feels too massive for Smart Omega to actually attempt for a contest.
Yeah.
If they do want to go out of the map, probably the best would be getting the trades on the opposite sides, but not even the opposite sides would probably completely be safe because there's Super Marco who's assigned to manage all these waves, even across the other side of the map.
Very consistent that they're able to just keep pressure on the other side. And Super Marco with his superhero landing sphere destructions, always perfectly timed.
Is it just me, or I'm not used to seeing Few spam the recalls?
Yeah, he doesn't do that. He doesn't really do that
but
too
he's
much.
doing it now.
But maybe today he's just feeling it. You know, it's one of those days where maybe we look like we're gonna have a hard time, but not really.
I must say they did a very interesting player entrance earlier, though. They had similar poses.
Yeah,
teamwork
for each role.
Yeah, that's teamwork.
So I don't know. Few feels like he's in the mood for like some banners and all that today.
Well, Andoryu though, he's trying to make something happen.
Okay. Flapteasy.
They're just standing there.
Literally sizing up Andoryu. AOG Marco with the Lord. They catch Yoshi and they bring him down. Flapteasy! Alongside Super Marco, they're gonna bring down 2 more. Lewis might be the next on the chopping block. It's just Andoryu left alongside Jome. Beautifully executed by the Green Falcons.
I don't think they even need the Lord at this point. They can just run up into the base and break it.
They have one siege minion alongside them. Jome and Andoryu trying to clear it out. Here comes a Purify coming in from Jome, but the Nether Realm once again from Few. And the fist break, fist crack will deliver the job and wipe out the barangay with a 5-man TP in the middle lane.
I can barely see whoever is individually teleporting here, and now it's done.
Team Falcons resurrecting their standing as they